Hi, I'm being joined by Nathan Braun of SSFeatures. If you haven't heard about SSFeatures or Nathan, you're going to enjoy this interview. To learn more about SSFeatures, visit smartsheetguru.com/SSFeatures. Hello, Nathan. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. How's it going, Darren?
Doing well. Staying busy, playing with SSFeatures a lot. Really enjoying
Thanks.
that extension. So tell
Thank you.
us
Thank
more
you.
about that. I think the big news is now you can copy Smartsheet automation workflows from one sheet to another.
Yeah, that was, I think I've mentioned to you, that was a very, very difficult feature to implement. That was one of the ones that I've been asked for the most is, the ability to be able to copy and paste those. When I originally decided to go and implement that, I thought it was going to be quite a bit easier. And when I got into the weeds, it was one that definitely tested my patience to be able to get it done. But it's also kind of the reason why I wanted to start SS Features in the first place. I wanted to jump and get into a place where I could kind of test my coding abilities again, get back into a lot of the difficult challenges that I didn't get in the workplace as much, right? In the workplace, it was a little bit more of the political challenges, a little bit more of the soft skills presentations, wrangling people around, and getting back into the groove of like hard technical problem solving. How do we do this? How do we write this? How do we make this work? That's what I'm looking for, and that's some of the stuff that I've really been able to enjoy with SS Features so far. So that feature itself being a really good test of my patience and also really enjoyable in the process. And it's also just a plus to be able to have people use it and tell me that it's helpful for them and they like it and it saves them time. It's fun. It's something I really enjoy.
Yep, that's good. Yeah, I can tell that you really enjoy it. Um, I've had the opportunity to submit some feature requests to you, and
Oh yeah.
I know you take a lot of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that just for the audience here is, and if you haven't had a chance to talk with me directly, one of the things that I think is cool about my journey and starting SS Features and everything is the fact that I didn't use Smartsheet at all before I started SS Features. So that's kind of been a good thing and a bad thing. It's good in the fact that I have to rely on feedback from other people like you to give me good ideas and feature requests and kind of lead me in the direction that talking to actual customers does, right? It's a good way to build a product and it makes sure that I'm building stuff that's useful. The downside is I don't know everything about Smartsheet, right? So I'll talk to people and I really have to come from a place of humility and knowing that I'm the student and I got to absorb information. What is Control Center and how do I do this? How do I do that? And trying to absorb that stuff and make a good product at the same time has been pretty difficult, but it's turning out well. And it's also forced me to create lots of relationships with people because I have to ask for feedback. I have to talk to people. I don't have the answers. I don't know what are the good things to build other than by going out and getting out of my comfort zone to talk to people. Yeah, the sessions, they're really, really good. I think one of the things that I like the most is just hearing what other people have to say. Right? Since it's a community based, multiple people can jump in and ask questions. And so even if the material itself is like might be something that people knows, more often than not, the questions that are being asked in the inner circle leads to other conversations that are the edge cases, the things that you didn't know or even think of that being an option or something that you can achieve. And so for me, coming from a place where I don't know Smartsheet all that well, it's been nice just to be able to sit back and listen to what other people are saying and, you know, the whole community itself, more than just the presentation. It's like the
Yep.
culmination of everything is really nice.
Yep. And the inner circle that you mentioned, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's a private forum, essentially, where you can go in there and ask your Smartsheet questions to the Smartsheet Guru crew, and we'll give quality answers. In fact, we recently had a member that wanted to know how to attach or take attachments from a Smartsheet row and put them on an Outlook email and send custom notifications that way. And we developed a nice Power Automate workflow within that inner circle there. So that was a great value add there. And in fact, if anyone's interested in joining the Smartsheet Guru Elite, we've got a special offer for anyone listening to this interview. You can join it for just $1 for the first month. And you also get SSFeatures as part of being a member. And you'll keep that SSFeatures subscription as long as you're a membership. It's included.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. Yeah. Being
Yep.
able to get the information from you, being able to learn from the community, and then just throw SS features in there just for the fun of it.
Yep. Well, it's such a valuable extension,
Yeah.
such a time saver. I like to say a SS feature helps you become your own Smartsheet guru, really, and impress all your colleagues about how efficient you can be with your
Yeah,
Smartsheet tasks.
yeah, it's a good one.
Yep.
I
Right.
think yeah, that works.
So let's get a little bit into your background. You said you were coding in the workplace and probably got removed from the coding work for a while. So what was that like? What's your background there?
Yeah, so my last job, I was a software engineer at Google. I started as an entry engineer and eventually worked my way up to a technical lead and senior engineer, or I was managing a team of 12 people. And I was able to focus primarily on the technical leadership. So what projects are we going to work on? What things are we going to deliver? What teams do we need to talk to get this stuff delivered? And as you go up the ladder, it's a lot less coding, right? You start and you're able to sit back and code 6 hours a day, a couple presentations here and there. And after a couple promotions, as you start to climb the ladder, you're lucky if you code at all. If you can code for an hour a week, a couple hours a week, then you know you're doing something well and you're on the good side of things. But more often than it's more just leadership, helping to train other engineers, interviewing other people, which some people really love that side of the things. Some people like to be able to do that. They enjoy that. And typically they end up going into the people manager track if they like that route, the ability to go and lead much, much larger teams, become a director. That's not what I wanted, right? What I wanted and what I've always been into as a software engineer is the development of the product, being able to deliver and write the code to be able to deliver that thing. And so being out of not being able to do that for so long, I didn't really see a path at Google for me to be able to get back to doing that either. So I knew the only real way that I was going to be able to do that is to take it into my own hands. And that's when I decided to leave after my 7 years there. And immediately after leaving, I got lucky and just so happened to find out about Smartsheet through my brother-in-law. And through that, I went and I investigated the Smartsheet community, the forum that everybody has, where people can go and they can post their feature ideas, their feature requests. And one of the things that's really cool about that is you can sort. You can sort it by which ones most people request. I went there and I found specifically auto sorting. It's like, okay, do I think I can build this? Can I clearly, if I look in the forum, people say that this is useful. I could see lots of comments where people are saying, hey, I'm thinking about leaving Smartsheet because this doesn't exist. And now I had the free time because I'm not working at Google anymore. Let's go ahead and let's throw it together. I spent a week writing this, building it up into a little hacky solution. And eventually that's what became SS Features. I turned it into this big, nice product that looked pretty good. It has good branding and everything. But it was that real moment of going to the forum and finding specifically Autosort and realizing that I can do it and that it hasn't been solved the way that I've been solving it so far. And that whole time period was it was a journey for sure.
Yep. That's great. SS features. Now you have your own business. SS features.
Yeah.
That's great.
And business ownership,
Oh yeah,
it's a lot, right? And I think a lot
it
of
is.
people who are watching this are also probably in the same space, either like self-employed or consultants, that route. And, you know, it's if you haven't done it before, you don't realize how difficult it is in a lot of ways, but also how much freedom you're given. And that's kind of a double-edged sword. But if any, I love being self-employed now, but it is a lot of work for sure.
Yep, it is. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but you know, I'm a few years into it now, and it's not as overwhelming as when I started. And kind of a similar experience a little bit. Not so much getting removed from the technical work like you did, um, but looking at those higher level employees, your directors, your vice presidents and such. Even a lot of the managers, the people managers, I was never jealous of their job. I didn't really
Yeah,
have any ambition
absolutely.
to take on those.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess the one good thing is I learned Smartsheet, in the corporate world. And so that skill set has been very valuable because I was able to turn a consulting business and, out of that.
Yeah. That's an important aspect. It's like when you look at the people who are, higher, whatever seniority or a higher promotion level or you, and you look at them and you realize, yeah, I'm not jealous of that. Then for me, it was the question of how do I continue to grow if I don't want to go that route? Right? If really my only route is to go more into the something that I don't think would bring me more happiness, then I can either choose to rest and invest, which is a completely valid strategy, or just stay where you're at, make good money, and be happy with it. But I think a lot of people, you want to keep growing, you want to keep learning new skills. And I think once you hit that point, you either jump ship and go to a different company or you do something drastic like leaving and starting your own
Yep.
thing. And now I will say I'm growing so much more than what I ever could have imagined. One in the technical side, but also in the sales and marketing side as well. Learning how to like network with people on LinkedIn, how to cold outreach people and have the confidence to do that. And that has been a whole new, I guess, lateral growth that I've been enjoying a lot too.
Yeah. In the corporate world, you learn how to write performance reviews and how to
Yeah,
stay out of trouble and how to do your training on time. Um,
exactly.
when you're self-employed, yeah, every day is a new learning experience. That's for sure. And I think both of us coming from a technical background originally, probably never saw ourselves doing marketing or being having anything to do with marketing.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, But now I'm really enjoying it. Surprisingly, I get
Yeah.
I get to do a lot of technical work too, but I do like switching gears a little bit and doing some marketing, writing emails to my list, making YouTube videos,
Yeah.
LinkedIn posts, the outreach on LinkedIn, and I think both of us have had so many great conversations reaching out on LinkedIn to Smartsheet users, and
Yeah. I think for me too, coming out from like the technical side, you don't want to be that person who's messaging people cold messages or whatever, because it takes some confidence to do that and you don't want to get rejected. So for me, getting over that, it's okay. Talk to them. If what you're offering is something that you think is truly going to help people, then okay, you're going to get rejected sometimes, but you have the opportunity to be able to help some people in the process. So for me, getting over that, and I agree, I like the marketing side more than I thought I would. It's given me a lot more respect for the field too, because it's difficult and it can go deeper and deeper, right? Like what I'm doing is very surface level, send out a post on LinkedIn, message a couple people, but there's a lot of depth in human psychology that people can get really into to be able to get really, really good at. So
yeah,
I'm definitely not there yet, but I see the appeal for it.
yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely respect marketing a lot more than I used to. Mm,
It's not
yeah,
easy. Yeah. And that's also one of the naive aspects that I had with SS features. Just to talk about that part, I, it's funny too, because if you go read, how to start your own SaaS product or how to start a product or whatever, they're going to say, you know, no matter how good the product is, you're still going to need to focus on sales and marketing. And I thought, I'll be different. I'm different. I'm built the, whatever. And so I built a product that I thought, and SS Features, it's a good product, and I think it's really good. But I thought that it was going to sell itself. Message a couple people, post it in the forum a little bit, and people are just going to jump on and want to buy it, and I'll be on a yacht next week. Didn't happen that way. It very much was the grind of getting people to learn about it, talking to people, and getting my first 5 downloads took me weeks, and that that's not what I expected when I came into this. I thought, okay, look at what these people are saying in the forums. Clearly, they're gonna like hop on board and everybody's gonna love it and it'll download thousands and thousands of downloads. And no, you still have to work and you have to grind it out. Even if you think your product's really good, you cannot get away from the fact that you have to actively market and sell your stuff.
yep. And when I first tried out SS features and started talking to you, I really saw the potential there, and I'm really glad that I suggested to you that I help you market it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's been a great
It's
learning experience for both of us.
Yeah, it's been super helpful. It's super
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
I
I think
really
that what
underestimated the difficulty.
yeah, I was surprised too when I started marketing it, the impact I had.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't have, hundreds of users flocking to you, but I probably, tripled or quadrupled your user base in a pretty
Yeah, yeah,
short
very
time there.
quickly, very, very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, like, one of the things that I underestimated there too is, like, the importance of having relationships already built, right? The fact that and, this was also from talking to other people as I've learned as time's gone that it's not the product as much when you're talking to people, it's you yourself having the relationship. They're buying from Nathan, they're buying from Darren. They want to know you and they to trust you first and foremost. And me coming from no Smartsheet experience, no relationship with any people or consultants or especially like big companies or anything like that. It's being able to find people like you and other people who have already had those relationships with all these people have been really crucial for me.
Yep. Yeah, when I first started my business, I was thinking, "Oh, I have to do this on my own. There's all these people competing with me. They're not gonna wanna talk to me." But when I started reaching out to them, that's when my business really started taking off,
Yeah.
is making those partnerships, collaborating with larger firms, finding companies like you and, selling your products, helping you sell them, open up new markets for me, new opportunities. And of course, writing the couple Smartsheet books has helped too.
Yeah.
In fact, that was a big confidence boost for me, and has brought in clients because someone reads your book and they say, "Oh no, I want to work with this guy."
Yeah. Yeah. The books, being able to put the comma author in your LinkedIn profile, I think is a big deal, right? Like people see it and they just immediately think, okay, this person knows what they're doing because they were able to spend the time writing the book to be able to get to that point. One thing I do want to say too, just about the community too, as I've been reaching out to people, especially other consultants, like everybody in the Smartsheet community is very nice. Other consultants, other big firms, uh, generally people have just been super positive and upbeat. So that was something that I think also has made it easier for me to get in and start networking more. Is I got so much of a fear of rejection early, but having that kind of be unwarranted by so many people who've been, yeah, cool. Let's check out what you got. Or, yeah, this is awesome. I just saw what you did. And, or just saying, maybe not now, but let's just talk about other stuff or let's just meet and talk over a video chat. That has been really, really nice.
Yeah, I had that same experience, and I was really shocked how giving people are of their time, especially these other consultants that are really busy.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a lot of work to go around in the smart sheet space, and everyone's busy, so I suppose
Yeah.
that helps with it. I also think
Yeah.
it's
That's true.
really neat that I think for both of us, we've really gotten an international reach. Really, we have we're both selling internationally, and
Yeah.
I say like my email list, I can claim I've got subscribers on 6 continents.
Yeah. That's also something that's kind of funny too, is one of the reasons why I was thinking about leaving Google and ultimately did leave Google was because I was being shifted to a team that was going to require more time zone issues and being able required to fly or take calls in a lot more different time zone. And I didn't like that idea. Then I start this and I'm taking calls in tons of different time zones all the time. Right. I'm learning way more about the globe and different countries, different just people in general, different cultures than
Yep.
I thought I was ever going to. And it's been really cool. It's a lot different when it's you doing it because you want to, rather than you doing it because a bigger company is forcing you to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I work a lot more being self-employed than I ever did working for another company.
Yeah.
Tell us about any big features you're working on with SS features. If you're able to talk about that, I don't know. Maybe your boss won't let you talk about it.
Honestly, the over the past few weeks has been a ton of feature development. So I did the copy and pasting automation workflows. I did one for capitalization that lets you manage all the columns. Let's say you want a column to be all uppercase or all lowercase or title case, sentence case. I built that into like a nice little manager there. And then I have I did another one that's a little bit more complicated to explain right now, but the one thing that I'm working on at the moment is I'm improving our spell checker. It's one of the features that I like a lot because it applies for everybody, but the dictionary and some of the ways that it spells, like, decides which words are improper, it's not the way that I would like. So fortunately, we have ChatGPT in today's age, so I can just iterate. It's been me and buddy ChatGPT over the past few days, just trying to make this thing a lot better. But some of the bigger things, I don't know at the moment. I have this massive backlog of features, probably something like 150 requests at the moment. And that's kind of going back to what I said earlier, just being able to talk to people and get ideas, but also being able to write those ideas down. Right? It's very easy to get ideas, but if you're not writing them down and actually like cataloging them and making sense of them, then you're not really doing the work properly. So I have this massive backlog and I need to go through and really iron out which ones I think are going to be the biggest and best. I also kind of have a role for myself as I wait for at least two people to mention the same issue. And once I hear it twice, it's like, all right, probably good enough. So I need to go back, see which ones are duplicates and say, okay, these ones clearly multiple people are asking for. Let's do those ones. And then anybody who uses SS features might realize that a lot of the things kind of fall in the same bucket. And what I mean by that is I pretty much only focus right now on things that can be done in sheets or things that can be done in reports. And I haven't really touched work apps or dashboards or anything like that. And one of the reasons is I like to prioritize things that I've already built on top of because it's a little bit easier to write the code for it. I've already created all the base layers to make it a little bit easier. So I'll probably end up sticking in that space still, just the sheets and reports for a while and see what comes up, talk to more people and kind of go from there. But I have a massive backlog. It's so much work to be done. It's just trying to prioritize it and execute it first and foremost.
Okay. Well, we won't publish the feature request email address here.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody has any ideas, that's one of the things I always say is please send them my way. Any ideas, I write them all down. It's kind of crucial for me.
Do you find that there's different types of users, like power users, I call them, or consultants, Smartsheet developers versus
Oh yeah.
just end users of Smartsheet? Project manager managing several projects. Do you see that in the features that each of those users use with SS features?
Yeah, and that really brings up a good point too. Is when I my original thought for SS features, and really what is still my dream for SS features, my end goal, right? You always got to have a vision. I want SS features to be so good that every Smartsheet user wants to use it. Right? That if you use Smartsheet, you just think, okay, this thing is so cheap, it's only $10 a month. I want to use it as well. And very quickly, I realized that my product is really geared towards consultants more so than the general user, which makes sense. In hindsight, obviously, if you're building a product, the people who are going to get the most value out of it are going to be your power users or your consultants, or, there's usually like a Smartsheet administrator at a big company that's in charge of all the Smartsheet stuff, or, the Smartsheet developers. And so I'm having kind of a struggle of trying to figure out how do I take a product that is kind of geared towards more focused users and try to make it more applicable to everybody, right? Because you want your product to be used by as many people as possible. The other thing that makes it difficult is that I'm getting most of my feedback from Smartsheet consultants and the power users because go figure they know Smartsheet better than everybody else. And so it's trying to balance those things that are, I could see which features are being used most by the power users, but also trying to figure how can I find some things that would be widely applicable for everybody. And that's been kind of a challenge. I Fortunately I have a way for me to track and see which features do I think are going to be used by, your admins or your power users or your consultants versus which ones do I think will be used by the general user. But it's definitely like a bridge that I'm trying to solve right now is how do I make this thing more applicable to the average user? That what are some of the things that the average user needs that isn't necessarily just something that the power user needs?
Yeah, I think some of your recent features that you've released, like I forget what you call it, but changing the case of text.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can make text in a cell all lowercase, uppercase, title case, sentence case.
Yeah.
I may have missed one too, but Oh,
That one's been
capitalized first
huge.
letter, I think it is. Yeah. So that's definitely more of an end user
The other two,
feature.
the other big one I'd say that's probably the biggest for in like the general user has been auto sorting.
Mm,
That's one that, if you need to auto sort your sheet, doesn't matter if you're a power user or a general user, you just want your data sorted. And then the other one that I'd say is most interesting is, there's in Smartsheet, if you have a report, but it has groups or summaries, you try to generate the PDF for it, it doesn't include those. So the report that you generate looks nothing like what you see on the screen. When companies need the exact report with that data without it removed, and they see that SSFeatures has it, they'll just buy SSFeatures. Like they don't even care about the other features. They just want that one alone because it's crucial for their company. But that one's like the only feature of its kind where it's just kind of an instant buy for the general user. There's a couple
yeah.
other that are I would consider like instant buy for the power user, but that's the one so far that has been like my one for the general user. And that's one of the things that I really like about this product too. Not to just only talk about the product, but I like that it has so many different little things, right? Where it's like a person might look at it and they, I only need 3 of these 15 features, but it's okay because, another person might need another 3, another person might need another 5. I'm trying to kind of hit every bucket with a little bit here, a little bit here, and that's how I'm trying to reach a broad audience.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to add to that list some of the features that are applicable to power users are probably the copy automations and copy conditional formatting. In fact, it's really interesting that you've talked so much about Autosort because when I first saw that as a feature of SS features, I was very skeptical. I said,
Yeah,
I don't know why would anyone need to do that?
yeah,
Um, but it is a very popular feature.
yeah.
Apparently,
It's
I I pretty much never sort sheets in Smartsheet because the solutions I build are more complex, and usually it's we want that data sorted in a certain way, or it's going to break the formatting or how it's viewed. So very rarely do I ever sort a sheet in Smartsheet, but there are people that do. I've even had a client recently ask me about that, and of course I recommend the SS features right off the bat.
yeah. More often people like they'll go to the report and try to do it there, which is completely valid unless there are the edge cases where like the data comes from a forum and I want it to always be at the bottom. That's where it shines. But
Yep,
it's
yep,
it's cool, man. I love just being able to do little bits here and there. And for me, as a developer, it's nice because I don't get bored, right? Implementing like a PDF generator is much different than implementing Autosort, which is much different than implementing like copy and pasting automation work. So I'm getting to the point too where I could go through the list and be like, I don't want to do that. Like that doesn't sound fun. Now, it sounds like it's probably useful, but that doesn't sound fun. And I'll save that for next week, Nathan. But this week, Nathan is not going to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'll do a different feature that sounds more fun to do, and we'll save that one because maybe it sounds tedious. I think it'll be tedious and not really like as challenging as I would like, or too challenging, and I'm exhausted. And so really it's good. It's good. I like it.
All right. Well, really happy to be able to interview you, Nathan. I think this will be um, really interesting to the audience. And I want to remind everyone I'm running that promotion if you watch this interview. Visit smartsheetguru.com/dollar trial. I'll put that link in the comments or down in the description. Um, but you'll get to join Smartsheet Guru Elite. You'll see me in there. Nathan may grace us
Yep.
with his presence when he's not busy coding out the next SS feature, and you'll get your SS features subscription included. All right. Any final words, Nathan?
I'll just plus one that, at a minimum, like I encourage everybody, especially if your job, even as consultants, but especially just a general user, to at least try the dollar trial. It's you will get your money's worth out of a dollar. Come on. And just being able to talk to people in the community, right? You might notice that in the actual Smartsheet community itself, you might have to wait a while to be able to hear back from somebody who's qualified to be able to help you with your formula or anything like that. But in the Smartsheet Guru Elite, you have access to Darren. And Darren knows all this stuff. I, my product would not be anywhere where it is right now without the feedback that I've gotten from him. So definitely sign up, give it a shot, and then as you use SSFeatures, my email, you'll get an email from me automatically. That is my personal email. Please message me if you have any thoughts, ideas. Like I said, I write everything down. I take all the feedback very seriously. And even if your idea seems like it's just a one-off bespoke idea, if I've heard it before, like I said, I roll a 2, then that gets immediately pushed up really high into my list of, all right, multiple people have said this is useful. And yeah, I love hearing back from people. One of the reasons, like I said, that I got into this is to be able to hear that what I'm building is having an impact on people, that it's saving them time, making their lives easier. So being able to get that feedback really helps me more than what I was able to get in the corporate world, where you would spend all this time doing this work and hear nothing from people. And
Yep.
not get
Being
any.
self-employed is a lot more fulfilling too. Definitely. You get
Absolutely.
immediate feedback. You don't
Oh,
have to wait till
100%.
the next annual performance review
Yes.
to find
Your
out that you did a good job.
you are your performance review.
Yep. Actually, your customers, your performance review.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us,
Yep.
and we'll
Thank you
see you
very much,
around at
Sharon.
Smartsheet Guru Elite.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.